Well, Bernie Sanders closing the gap between him and Hillary Clinton, but is it enough to overcome his delegate deficit? Let's bring in our political panel, Democratic strategist Chuck Rocha and Democratic strategist campaign director, Center for American Progress Action Fund, Emily Tish Sussman. Good morning, you guys. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Abby.
So, Emily, you look at the delegate count now. Clinton, 1,743. Sanders, though, 1,056. I mean, he's moving on up.
Well, he certainly has defined the expectations from the beginning. People didn't really think this would be much of a race. But he's come out with some very, to give him credit, he has some very clear and concise messages. They don't vary very much, but they are actually really what a lot of people are looking to hear, which is talking about very strongly about income inequality, rallying against big banks and talking about influence in politics, money in politics. People really do, that does resonate with people. And so, he has done better than people have expected. That doesn't mean that he's really on a very realistic path to actually winning the nomination. He would have to win 58% of all delegates moving forward, which seems pretty unlikely, especially given the states that are upcoming that are more diverse, have closed primaries. It just seems pretty unlikely he'll actually run for the nomination.
What stuck out to me, Chuck, in our exit polling is last-minute deciders. A majority of them went to Bernie Sanders. Clearly, he's got the momentum, but what does that tell you about maybe his ability to change the situations in the states coming up?
Well, the one thing that we know about this election cycle is that it's ever-changing. I've been doing politics for 25 years, and I've never really seen anything like it. People who knew Bernie Sanders in the polling 3 months ago knew he was down 20 points in Wisconsin, and to have the victory he had last night, Emily's exactly right. It is an uphill battle. The math is against him to a certain degree, but unexpected things are happening every day in this election. Nobody would have thought that Bernie Sanders would have been this far into the race and have won 7 out of the last 8. We got to give him his campaign credit, but also Hillary Clinton was a senator from New York. The states coming up, we'll see who favors who, but right now the momentum is definitely in his favor.
Yeah, Emily, New York coming up, 247 delegates at stake there for the Democrats. Obviously, Hillary Clinton is ahead by a few points now, but it's still pretty close. Does that totally change the game if Bernie Sanders could win New York?
It certainly would be a big deal. New York delegates themselves are about 6% of the overall delegates needed in the race. So it's a big prize regardless. But symbolically in this race, particularly, I think it's a very big win for anybody who wins both in the Democratic or Republican sides. There have been so many unexpected things about this election, but one of them is that New York has actually played a really important role. Like first during the debates, Cruz had accused Trump of having New York values. Now we have a senator from New York, a businessman from New York, a senator who's originally from New York. It's actually, New Yorkers have been waiting for this moment. I got to tell you, New Yorkers have never felt so important in a national election.
Yeah.
So I do expect there to be pretty good turnout.
And it's all coming down to New York. That's very true. Chuck, Emily, thanks for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.